Looking at another type of growth now, we're going to be looking at it from the point of view of the franchisee. So a franchise is where the franchisee buys the rights from a franchisor to use the names, the methods, the branding, and sell the goods and services of that franchise. Now the franchisee has to pay a startup fee, and an annual royalty, which is usually a percentage of their revenue. But they do get access to national global advertising campaigns, help with admin, HR advice, more HR advice rather than the day-to-day running, training and legal issues as well. So in terms of benefits, because what we're thinking about here when we're looking at franchisees questions is, should you set up on your own as an independent local business to start off with, or should you buy into a franchise and become a franchisee? So big benefits are you get access to this well-known brand and you receive that training and HR support, national advertising as well, using mass media, which you're very unlikely to be able to afford if you're a local business on your own. And you may get access to loans and finance from the franchisor to help you set up. However, you do have to pay that setup fee and you have to pay ongoing royalties as well, which is going to eat into those profits. Now, you'd hope that overall you're going to make more profit than you would have made opening up on your own, because you're getting this brand, you're getting all the advertising, but that might be something to consider. You have less or very little control over the products, the branding, the layout of the store. If we think about McDonald's, they're all, which is a very famous franchise, they're all laid out in a very similar way. They can't just come up with their own ideas. Subway's the same as well. They can't just come up with, Subway can't just decide they're going to serve chips because chips are really popular in that local area. That's not part of the Subway brand, so you're not allowed to do that. And supplies usually have to be bought from the franchisor, and that makes it a little bit more expensive as well in terms of their costs. So let's have a look at a past paper question. We've got an article or a case study here that begins with Second Cup, which is a specialist coffee retailer set up in Canada. I'm not too sure if this is real, but it's given me very much like kind of Starbucks kind of vibes. Although Starbucks is American, but it's expanded the business through franchising, selling the rights to the business name and product, and it's now one of the most established coffee retailers in the world. I think it is fictitious. I've not heard of it, but I'll look it up after. So they offer a wide selection of coffees, espresso-based beverages, iced beverages, blended drinks, specialty teas, or blah, 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 blah. And if a franchise will cost a minimum of £50,000, they're aiming to expand by opening up new franchises. Explain the advantages and disadvantages of becoming a franchisee, 8 marks. Okay, so when you're reading that case study, I would have thought it was going to be about them being a franchisor, not a franchisee. So very, very important, first tip, to read the question really, really carefully. But what I want to do is, because we've got all the benefits and problems there that you can just repeat in an exam, but I want to just pick out some specific stuff. So you can link to the data. So that's going to be a minimum of £50,000. So that's a really good thing to link to there. Most established coffee retailers in the world, it's got a brand, it'll be well known, and then you've got all of the products as well, the product knowledge. They know what sells well, they know what customers like. You can bring in all the stuff about the training. They have specialist designers that set up these coffee shops to try and maximize sales, and this is what'll look good, this is what'll drag customers in. You're not going to get that help if you're a small little independent retailer. So the point I'm making here is try and use as much of the data and the evidence in your question as you can to be able to maximize your marks on questions like this.